Hello, it's Ruby the Conscious Crone here, and today I am going to talk to you about short, medium and long-term goals during a coaching session. So I've just finished working with a client and we were looking at what's going on in her life currently. Where is it she's stuck? Where she's wanting to be going forward, where there's opportunities and those moments of clarity really. How do you sift through all of the stuff that's keeping you stuck, and how do you help yourself to start having those light bulb moments, and then having really clear objectives of where you're at now, where you would want to be, something a little bit more stretching, and then ultimately where you might see yourself maybe in like a year's time. So it was an interesting session because I think that quite often when we're sort of mired in lots of stuff that seems to be weighing us down, I kind of put my detective hat on and I want to hear what's not being said. I want to see what's not being seen, and maybe confront the elephant in the room. So as we were having more of a conversation, the thought that occurred to me was, there's a lot of grief here. There's a lot of grief. Lots and lots of different things have been feeding into this one situation. And how much of a conversation has been had around that? So before we even got into looking at what goal setting we could do, I wanted to focus their mind on, has there been any loss? If there has been loss, what does it look like? And it was really interesting, although there was a couple of obvious ones that came up, when we started drilling down on it a little bit more, I put forward some suggestions just based on previous sessions that we'd had. And I think that sometimes we can be going through or have experienced so many losses that we don't even see them as losses. We don't even think that our body could have started the grieving process, that we could be stuck in that cycle. And that's kind of why we are not getting to where we want to go, where we feel like our world is collapsing in on us and we don't seem to have a reason why. So that threw up some really lovely journaling prompts that they will be able to take away and actually just sit with their feelings and their emotions around the different losses that they've actually have experienced, some quite recent and others maybe a little bit more long term. We also then looked at where do they want to go, whether it is in their private life or in their business life, and looked at what obstacles they're currently coming up against, ways that they could be working smarter, how they can position themselves as an expert. Nobody knows what they do better than they know. Nobody knows them better than them. They've had their own life experiences and all the different things that they can bring to the situation, that knowledge then that they can take out into the world. Nobody knows that better than you. So what would that look like? Becoming a little bit clearer on the business goals as well, and looking at the different tools that you can use to help you really be clear and look at how you can actually achieve those goals. So some of the short-term goals, it could be something as simple as putting a vision board together, looking in your local area of, are there spaces that you could go so you're not continually working out of one spot, just changing the energy up a little bit, vibing with different people. It was also then looking at how do you really become clear on what your knowledge is, where your niche is, where are your people, because your clients are never hiding, you are. So becoming a little bit clearer on how do you take your message out into the world. What are you wanting to change within yourself? So how are you looking after yourself through your diet, your lifestyle? Because obviously that will impact on your mental state of being, which could then have a negative impact on how you're actually showing up in your business. And then a really reaching goal is looking at, where do you want to be in a year's time? What do you want your business to look like? Where do you want to be in your private life? Do you still want to be living where you're living? Do you want to, maybe you want to be on the other side of the world? Maybe you want to be doing more remote working. It could be all sorts of everything, really. So that session was pulling it all apart, deconstructing it, shining light into all the different areas, and then becoming clear on, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go in the next week? Where do you want to go in the next month? Where do you want to be in 3-4 months' time, 6 months' time, a year's time? And even like a real long-term goal. I think one of the questions I asked was, well, if you wanted to live in this place, how much do you think it would cost you to be there? How much work would you have to be to actually make that happen? So many different questions, some that demanded answers, others that were more rhetorical, some that were designed to get the creative juices flowing. And we looked at different ways that you can actually make the space that you're in work better for you, from just something as simple as bringing some plants in, making sure you're getting some good air in there, and looking at your diet and lifestyle. So coaching can be about different things, because I think that your mindset and how you're looking after yourself, it feeds into so many different parts of your life. So lifestyle is everything. And I actually, I just love doing this work, because every client that I do brings something different through the door, and every session is so bespoke to the individual. I work very intuitively, and it's just lovely to see from each session that individual changing and getting closer to where it is they want to go. There's little steps to reach that bigger goal. This is my why. This is why I do it. And it brings me an immense sense of satisfaction. So I'm going to throw it out there. I've got spaces for new coaching clients to come forward. So if you're feeling like you're at a bit of a crossroads moment, if you feel like you're wanting to maybe access a different kind of coaching, because I draw so many different ways of being into what I do. I can bring the sound in, I can bring the Reiki in, I can bring the working very energetically, very intuitively, as well as working quite logically, posing the different questions. So it's quite an eclectic mix. It's a very unique way, I think, of actually coaching individuals. So if anything that I have said there is speaking to your soul, because I am very soul-centred, I'm very heart-centred, I'm very people-centred. That's the way I coach. So if any of that is speaking to you, and you feel like you would want to explore working with me in a coaching way, then head over to my website. It's consciouscrone.com. We can book a clarity call. That's half an hour, your space to have a chat with me. I don't make a charge for that. We can see whether there is that connection there, and it gives me the opportunity to ask questions, take notes. I put together an overview, which I then send to you, and I give you an idea of ways that we might be able to work together. And if you have a chance to read through that and you feel that yes, this is where I feel like I'm being guided, then at that point we can really start to drill down on, okay, what does this look like? How many sessions, length, what we're going to be working on, and we can really then start to put together a package of working together and what that will look like. And that's then when the fun starts, when the real work starts, and we can get stuck in. So that's it. That is Ruby. That is the Conscious Crone. That is how I work. That's how I roll. That's what I do. That's how I show up for people. And I I know that the right souls are always guided to me. And I just bring this wisdom of a life really lived. I've picked up a lot of things on this journey called life, and I'm still learning. And if I can use what I know to help other people to get through their times of being stuck, then that's what I want to do. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for spending a few moments with me, and it is a goodbye for now.